if you're watching this right now, and there's a mirror in your bathroom, after this story, you're gonna think twice before walking in there at night. Because I made one mistake. Just one. And it cost me my sleep, my peace, and almost my life. My name is Ethan, and for the longest time, I thought stories like this were bullshit. Urban legends. Stuff people make up to scare kids. That was before that night. We moved into an old house on the edge of a small town in Ohio. The place was over 100 years old. It creaked, it settled, it breathed, and it was never truly quiet. My parents loved it. I didn't, especially the bathroom on the second floor. There was something off about it. Too long, too narrow, the ceiling way too high, and the mirror. Old, cloudy around the edges, like it had seen things it didn't want to remember. Mom said it was antique, left behind by the previous owners. I had this gut feeling it wasn't left behind by accident. The first weird thing happened on the third night after we moved in. I woke up at 2:12 a.m. No nightmare, no noise, just wide awake. The house was dead silent. Even the crickets outside had stopped. And then I heard it. Drip, drip, drip. Water. Coming from the bathroom. I stayed in bed, listening. The sound was slow, steady, like someone was counting seconds. I got up and walked to my bedroom door. The hallway was colder than the rest of the house, way colder. I didn't turn on the lights. I don't know why. I just didn't want to. The moment I stepped into the hallway, I felt it. That feeling you get when someone's watching you. Not from behind, not from the side. From somewhere ahead, from the bathroom. Each step made the dripping louder. Drip, drip, drip. I stopped right in front of the door, and that's when I noticed something wrong. The bathroom door was slightly open. I knew for a fact I had closed it before going to bed. I slowly reached for the handle. The second my fingers touched it, the dripping stopped. Instant silence. The kind that doesn't feel natural. The kind that feels aware. Like whatever was inside had realized I was standing there, waiting. I stood there, frozen in front of the bathroom door. The silence was insane. So thick you could feel it pressing against your skin. My heart was beating. Too slow, like someone else was setting the pace. I was about to just close the door, walk back to my room, pretend I didn't hear anything. Forget it ever happened. But then, I heard it. Not water. Breathing. Soft. Barely there. Like someone was right behind the door, breathing into the crack. I didn't scream. I didn't even move. The second I moved my hand toward the doorknob, the door creaked open. Slow. Deliberate. The bathroom was pitch black. The only light came from a tiny window up near the ceiling. The moon. And the first thing I saw was my reflection. I was standing in the doorway, pale, eyes wide. But something was wrong. I blinked. The reflection didn't. I raised my hand. It lagged, just for a second. 1 second. That's impossible. My brain scrambled for an explanation. Tiredness, sleep paralysis, light trick. But my body already knew. That wasn't me. I took a step back, and the reflection took a step forward, closer to the glass. Between us, space stretched that shouldn't exist. I opened my mouth to scream. The reflection smiled, not like a normal smile. Its lips stretched, too wide, too smooth, like the skin was rubbery. And then I heard a voice. It didn't come from the room, it came from my head. "You shouldn't be here, Ethan." Something moved behind the shower curtain, slowly, deliberately. The curtain twitched as if touched by one finger. I saw a shadow. Tall. Wrong. It had no real shape, like a shadow in water. The reflection in the mirror tilted its head. "You always come here alone," it whispered. "When it's dark." And that's when I realized. It knew everything about me, every habit, every time I sneak into the bathroom without turning on the lights. My foot brushed something cold. I looked down. A puddle, on the floor. But the water wasn't coming from the tap. It was creeping out from under the tub. Slow. Quiet. Like whatever was in there couldn't fit inside. The reflection touched the glass. I heard a scratching, like fingernails, on the mirror. "We've been waiting for you, Ethan," it said. I ran, down the hallway, without looking back. I don't remember how I got to my room. I slammed the door, pressed my back against it. And then I realized something. The sound. Drip. 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 It was back. But now, it wasn't coming from the bathroom. It was under my bed. I froze, pressed against the bedroom door, listening. Drip. 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 The sound was coming from under my bed. I wasn't breathing. I didn't dare move. My brain screamed that it couldn't be real. It had to be the pipes, a leaky faucet, old plumbing. But my body, it knew better. Something under that bed wasn't water. I slowly leaned down to look. At first I saw nothing. Then eyes. 2 of them, white, empty, staring right at me. Then it smiled. I jumped back, hitting the wall. The lights flickered. For a second, everything was bright. And then I saw it fully. Its body stretched. Too long to fit under the bed. Its skin was wet, shiny, like it didn't stick to bones. It slumped, then moved. Slow. Wrong. Its arms bent in ways they shouldn't. Joints cracking. And then it spoke. The same voice. "You came anyway, Ethan." I bolted for the door. The handle wouldn't budge. Something was holding it. From the other side, I felt a cold brush on my ankle. Fingers, long, slimy. I screamed. The lights exploded. The room went black. I don't know how long I stayed on the floor. When I came to, it was quiet. Too quiet. Morning light was coming through the curtains. I was alone. No water. No creature. No trace. I told myself it was a dream until I looked at my ankle. A wet mark. Dark. Like fingers had touched me. I didn't tell my parents. I didn't tell anyone. I just stopped sleeping at night. And I stopped using the bathroom after dark. But it didn't stop. By the 5th night, I heard a new sound. Not dripping. A whisper. It came from the bathroom vents, repeating the same thing. "You're coming back anyway." The whisper never stopped. It echoed through the bathroom vents, even when I was in my room, even when I covered my ears. It wasn't loud. It was close, like it was talking inside my head. "You're coming back anyway. You always come back." On the 5th day, I couldn't take it anymore. I went to my mom, told her about the water, the mirror, the eyes under the bed. She just sat there, too quiet, too long. Then she slowly spoke. She knew. She always knew. When the house was first bought, there wasn't a bathroom. There was a water room. The old owners never used it. They closed the door, boarded the window. Never went in after sunset. Then a new family came. They renovated, put in the tub, the mirror, ran the pipes, and they opened something that should have stayed closed. Mom spoke softly. Down in the basement, there were old records, yellowed, cracked. Stories of people who disappeared at night, always after midnight, always after using the bathroom. Their bodies were never found. Only water remained. Everywhere. I asked her why we were still living there. She didn't answer right away. Then she said, "Because they already know you." That night, I heard water again. But this time, it wasn't just one faucet. It was all of them. Bathroom, kitchen, basement. The house sounded like it was crying. I sat in my room staring at the clock. 10:59. The whisper grew louder. We open doors through water. We watch through mirrors. We touch those who aren't afraid of the dark. 0 bako. The lights went out. I heard the bathroom door open. By itself. No creak. It was careful, like it knew I was standing there. Puddles started forming in the hallway. They didn't flow. They crawled. And in every puddle, I saw a reflection. Not mine. Faces. Distorted. Looking up. At me. From the dark hallway, a figure stepped out. Tall. Too skinny. It moved like a person who had lived in water for too long and forgot how to walk. It stopped in front of my door and said, "We don't take those who don't look. We take those who look back." It lifted its hand, and I realized it was my hand, but wet, twisted, and it knocked on the door. The knocking echoed through the room. Slow, measured, like it was giving me time to get ready. My mom screamed from downstairs. I heard something moving on the stairs, water splashing under my feet. I didn't think. I just jumped out the window. Cold night air hit my lungs. I fell into the wet grass and ran, barefoot, without looking back. The house stayed behind me, but I could feel it. Watching. The windows glowed a dim white, like eyes. I ran to the old shed at the edge of the yard, slammed the door, pressed my back against it. Silence. I thought I was safe. And that's when I saw it. A mirror. Small. Cracked. I didn't remember it being there. I didn't want to look. But the reflection was moving. In the mirror, I saw myself. Wet. Pale. But behind me, someone else was there. Tall. Blurry. It leaned closer and whispered, "You can't escape the water. You're made of it." The shed trembled. Water started creeping up from the floor. I kicked open the back door and ran to the road. Headlights. A car. I stumbled into the asphalt. The driver slammed the brakes, shouting. But I was already losing consciousness. The last thing I saw was my reflection in a puddle. I blinked. It didn't. I woke up in the hospital. They told me I was in shock. The house burned down that night. A fire. The water didn't help. I should have been relieved. I thought I was free. But when I went into the hospital bathroom a few days later, I saw it. Foggy glass. And slowly, words forming in the mist. "You're with us anyway." I tried to move on. I moved cities. Changed my phone number. Never lived in an old house again. Never slept near a bathroom. Never looked in a mirror at night. I thought I had escaped. I was wrong. The first time it happened again was a month later. I woke up in the middle of the night to a familiar sound. Drip. Just once. I sat in the dark, telling myself it was just a faucet. But I knew better. I always knew. I started covering mirrors. Bathroom first, then the hallway, then my bedroom. I left no glass exposed. People laughed, called me paranoid. I let them laugh, because they hadn't seen what I saw. One night I woke up and felt someone in the room. Not a sound, not a movement, a presence, a gaze. I slowly looked up, and that's when I realized my mistake. My phone. Black. Off. It was lying next to me, and in it, I saw my own face, but it wasn't sleeping. The reflection opened its eyes and smiled. My heart was pounding like it was going to explode, and then I heard it. Not from the bathroom, not from the mirror, from inside. "We're not in the glass. We're in the one who looks back." That night, I did the only thing I could. I smashed every mirror. Shards. Blood. Silence. I sat there, among the pieces, laughing. Thought I had won. A year went by. I learned not to look. I wash my hands with my eyes closed. I shower in the dark. Never look in a reflection, even in store windows. But today, I realized why you're watching this video. Because when I recorded this story, I saw myself on the screen. And behind me, something moved. If you go into your bathroom tonight, don't turn on the light right away. Don't look in the mirror. Because if you see yourself, and the reflection looks first, that means they already know your name. If you want to hear more stories like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. Stay safe, and remember, never look first.